an African Negro. So the Europeans stole our history and they don't want to teach us anything, but in that European book right there, they're telling you what your nationality is. They're telling you that black is a fiction, it's an adjective. But we don't want to consider that because we want to read Dr. Ben books. But he's going to tell us that we're black people. And we want to read all these other scholars' books, and they want to tell us that we're black people. Continuing this fiction of an identity of ourselves. Because once we start dealing with this, understand that when you start talking about Moors, just try it on your job. Go to a European person on your job and ask them, yo, you ever heard about the Moors before? And see how they look at you funny. Like, why are you asking that question? And if you press them on it, they'll tell you some things about your history that you don't even know about yourself. Which is why it's important for us to read. Which is why is it important for us to love instead of hate. Because it's not the time right now for hating the white man. This is the definition of a white man, right? This is out of a law dictionary from 1870. Free white persons. Free white persons, meaning all persons belonging to the European races, then commonly counted as white, and their descendants, including such descendants in other countries to which they have emigrated. It includes all European Jews, more or less intermixed with peoples of Celtic, Scandinavian, Teutonic, Iberian, Latin, Greek, and Slavic descent. It includes Magyars, Lapps, and Finns, and the Basque of Albanians. It includes the mixed Latin, Celtic, Iberian, and Moorish inhabitants of Spain and Portugal, the mixed Greek, Latin, Phoenician, and North African inhabitants of Sicily, and the mixed Slav and Tartar inhabitants of South Russia. Free white person does not mean Caucasian race, Aryan race, or Indo-European races, nor the mixed Indo-European, Dravidian, Semitic, and Mongolian peoples who inhabit Persia. So who's really the black people? If black means pale, who are the black people? And this is the game that they've been running on us. They get us through verbal contracts, because contracts could be written, they can be verbal, or they can be implied. They use verbal contracts. For example, if they're going to take this water right here, and they're going to put a sticker on it that says blacks only. Then they're going to put another bottle over here, and it's going to say whites only. And Europeans, being that they know that white and black are statuses, they're going to go drink from the white one. And based on the implication that they're the white people, then we're going to go drink from the black one. Which means that we just contracted to say that we're black people. Which means that we're the pale people. Which means that we're the minority. And this is not something new. This is ancient. If you talk about these guys, the Illuminati, they're going to show you a pyramid just like this. And they're going to say Masons here, and then they're going to say Shriners here, then they're going to say 32 degree and 33 degree, and then at the top they're going to say white brotherhood. And that represents us, because we're the ones that taught them everything that they know. That's why they wear one of these. And they have the tassel tacked down on the side like this. And they never wear this out in the street. And if you're lucky on a good day, you might be able to go to that Masonic Lodge on Keele Street, Keele and Shepherd, and you'll see that the only time that you're going to see them outside of the temple with the fez on is when they're going on a bus to go somewhere, or when they have their parade, and they shut down the city, and you see these guys walking around with fezzes on, with dashikis on, and sashes and shawls, walking around like it's their stuff. But if you're not claiming it, somebody's going to pick it up and use it. If you're not claiming to be the Jew, how come we can't get reparations? Because we're saying that we're black people. And a black person is a slave. And slaves don't deserve nothing. It's not feasible to give a slave something because they don't know what to do with it. They're a slave. What's a slave going to do with $1 million? Go buy some sneakers. Go buy some little weight seeds to indoctrinate themselves more. They're going to put money to things that are going to be for their destruction. And when they get challenged on it, they're going to think that the world's being racist toward them. When the world has a right to deal with them on that level. Because you're not living up to the standard of your ancient foremothers and forefathers. Honor thy fathers and mothers so your days can be longer on the earth land. But we want to say that we're black people. We want to say that we're everything we want to say that we're everything. We're going to be every single name in the book except Moors. And if you trace black history back, as soon as you get to the 1400s, you go right into Moorish history. And when Christopher Columbus came over here, and when they kicked the Moors out of Spain, when Aragon and Castile came together to kick the Moors out of Spain. That was 1492. And the Moors that they kicked out of Spain, some of them went back to North Africa. Some of them came over here. And the rest of them were put in for you to sail the ocean blue. You're going to have some crew because you can't do it by yourself. And they told him to go to the Spanish dungeons and use those guys as your crew. This is in Christopher Columbus's record. Who were those people that they had in the Spanish dungeons? The Moors that they just conquered. Who were the first navigators? And the Moor, again, means any dark-skinned person. So the ancient Egyptians were Moors. The ancient Phoenicians and the ancient people of Europe, that Queen Charlotte, who was a Moor, who was a sister, that they bred themselves, the Europeans bred themselves into our bloodline in order to take it over. Because they knew that that's the only way that they're going to be able to have anything. Because Europeans technically have nothing. Like, they don't own anything at all. There's nothing that they came out of their own mind. They thought that whales and dolphins were monsters. They thought that if you sail to the end of the thing, you're going to fall off the edge. every single thing that they know, we were the ones that taught it to them. And they're going to flip the script on us indirectly by putting black on that thing and say, well, you guys have to drink off that. And we don't question nothing. We just say, all right, I guess, because I am thirsty, so I'm just going to drink off this thing. But what happens when you are trying to be something that you're not? In law, anybody have a time trick?
It's 3:05.
In law, thank you. So again, like we said, we're going to be going through so much stuff because the Moorish concept or the Moorish school of thought is not just, okay, you're going to get this today, tomorrow, and then that's it, and you could go back to doing what you're doing. Like this is connecting you back to world history that you've been taken out of because of our acceptance of certain things. So, how many people have seen this term? Okay, what's that? What's color? Like what does that apply to?
A certain group of people.
When they say things are colored, what are they talking about?
Things that aren't white,
Things that are?
not white.
What else is colored? What does NAACP mean?
National Association for Colored People.
Okay, so colored also applies to people. Now a good example is if we had two fruit baskets here. If we had this table right here and we had two fruit baskets on it. One fruit basket had apples and bananas and oranges. The other fruit basket had apples, bananas, and oranges. One of the fruit baskets had plastic fruits. Which one are you going to eat from? Say that again?
Real fruits.
Why are you going to eat from the real fruits?
You can't eat plastic.
Okay. In law, the plastic fruits are called colored.
It's a replication.
Like in law, if you go ask any judge in any Ontario Court of Justice or any Supreme Court, what does colored mean? He's going to tell you that it means fake, artificial, phony, semblance.